So I know I'm a little late on this, and typically I don't react to like directs and stuff like that. But the Nintendo E3 Direct, there was a lot of cool stuff announced. Some things were a little surprise to some. Some things people felt were left out. Like, where's the Switch Pro? I've already said it. I think they're gonna wait till right before it's ready to release, a few weeks prior, and then announce it. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But that's neither here nor there, as the ladies like to say. I've taken a look at most of the stuff they announced at the Direct, and there's a handful of things that really tickled it for me, and I want to discuss today because that realization comes into play. You can't like everything, and even the things you do like, there may be things about it that you don't like, and I wanted to talk about some of that stuff today. So first up, on my list of things that got me excited was the Advance Wars Reboot Camp. I really enjoyed Advance Wars back in the day. I remember playing against the dude that I worked with. I actually got him into it because he was intrigued by the game. And we would play Advance Wars in the Game Boy Advance, like during the nighttime. We worked a swing shift. It was like a security job. And there's nothing to do. We'd play Advance Wars. Freaking blast. Loved this game. I was excited as hell to see this. But then, seeing the actual aesthetics of it didn't really do it for me. I'm seeing the characters. They are reminiscent of the original characters, but they look more like late 2000s Nickelodeon Disney style. And then the characters themselves on screen, they have a very plastic look, a very shiny look, and that's not really doing it for me. Overall, the game does look like Advance Wars. I'm not gonna lie. Looks like it's gonna be a blast, but that aesthetic is just not really doing it for me as well as I'd hoped. Maybe it'll grow on me, but it just makes me wish like these companies, man, like embrace the past and not just do stuff like this. Maybe get those 2D sprites going. I know the Game Boy Advance, that was like the limitations back in the day, and that's how the games were. And this is like, going in a different step to be more enticing to people, either people who've never played these games before or hoping that people who did see these new shiny ones and want to play them. Comes out later this year. I'm excited, but like I said, I don't really care for the aesthetic too much. Now the next thing, which really got me feeling like mid-90s, early mid-90s, was Raw Thrills Cruis'n Blast. Nintendo owns the IP from what I understand, and this is an arcade game. That's why it got me hyped, because I just played this the other day on a little vacation I was on at a hotel. They had this in there. And there's an arcade near us, Round 1, that they've had this for the longest time, and I would play it every time we went, and it was just a fun, stupid game. Just like the original Cruis'n USA. Back in the day, man, I remember playing Cruis'n USA at the arcade at like a water park. Kids all dripping all over these things, right? And just loving the crap out of the game and getting excited for it to come out on the Nintendo 64. And seeing this, it brings me back to that. Like, you would play arcade games, be like, dude, I can't wait. I hope this comes to like home consoles, right? This game, don't expect like some deep craziness. It's just arcade dumbness. And I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. It's just a racing game. It's a cruising game. And just seeing all this crazy crap. I mean, I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped. This is one of my top picks as far as the Nintendo Direct went. I mean, I know maybe not a lot of people feel that way, but look at that 4-player split screen. I mean, if you're old school retro gamer, maybe this tickled it for you a bit. For me, it got me really amped up. I mean, it's just going to be a silly game, and I'm all for it. I can't wait. Raw Thrills, they do a lot of stuff in the arcades. Arcades have been a dying thing in North America for the longest time. And Raw Thrills, they have brought some properties back. A lot of times in arcades, it's mostly like mobile interpretations of stuff, ticket redemption games, that kind of thing. But Raw Thrills has been doing a few things that are kind of neat. And this one is one of them. It's kind of neat. I'm excited for it. So screw it. Why the hell not? So the next one that got me excited, but not a shock, was the Legend of Zelda Game & Watch. We all knew this was coming out, obviously, for the celebration of Zelda anniversary. So $50 for this thing. It's either going to be a yay or nay for you. You get the original Zelda for the NES. You get Zelda 2. And then the one that is rubbing some people the wrong way is Zelda Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. Couple reasons this is rubbing people the wrong way. Incorrect aspect ratio, yes, and it's not the DX version. Oh, you also get Vermin with Link as the character there. 4 playable games. Now, the Mario one that came out last year, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I know a lot of people will be like, okay, this is something dumb you buy, throw it on a shelf, and never mess with it. The Mario one, I played all the damn time. I played the crap out of it, literally. Every time I went to the restaurant, I was playing Mario. Let me beat Mario real quick. I played the crap out of it. I still pick it up every once in a while. I think it's a neat little device. Tons of ways to play these games, but you know what? To me, this is kind of cool. You got the little interactive clock and timer that you can mess around, fight Shadow Link. But yeah, maybe with that Zelda Link's Awakening, maybe enough people will blow it up that Nintendo will incorporate, correct aspect ratio. I don't know. Maybe it's already a feature in there. Maybe they just don't care because most consumers who purchase this are not going to notice. It's mostly going to be YouTubers and people who are very technical with these things that are going to point this stuff out and say, hey, this is redunks, But most people will not notice it. Will it distract you from enjoying the game? Most people it won't. Some people it will drive them nuts. I respect either which way you look at it. But for this device being something little tiny thing, I mean, we want the games to be faithful. You know what I mean? We're going to give you $50 for this thing. We want it to be faithful. Hopefully they fix that, or it's just something we don't know about and it's already incorporated. But onto the DX aspect of it, I wish that was on there. I mean, the colorized version of Link's Awakening was pretty dope. And to not have that, maybe like the Mario Game & Watch, there's a few little tiny secrets. Like, they kind of showed some things we would have thought would have been secrets, like the interactive clock and whatnot. But maybe perhaps DX is on there. Maybe it is. Maybe that's a secret. We'll have to wait and find out. Comes out in November. I already have mine pre-ordered. Yes, I'm going to get one. I'm not a huge collector, but I do like stuff like this. I'll mess around with it. Can't wait for it. But the Zelda Link's Awakening thing, I don't know. Hopefully it's all right. So now the final thing that got me excited was Metroid 5. Or Metroid Dread, as they're calling it. So you had the original Metroid, Metroid 2 on the Game Boy, Super Metroid, Metroid Fusion. Now you have Metroid 5. So that's the 5th one in the 2D style game. So this is 3D graphics, but 2D gameplay. But there is one thing. I'm going to pause it in a second because I was on like a little vacation. I watched this over and over again late last night. And there was one aspect. I was like, okay, this little cutscene. You got these little dog creatures coming at you. I forget what they're called, EMMIs or something like that. And that's why the game's called Dread, because there's this sense of dread that these things are hunting you. But there's a scene that's coming up where they start showing gameplay. Like, this just looks like, okay, it's a little cutscene, but then the gameplay shifts into something like that, a little cinematic thing. There's a couple of things I noticed about this. Like, there's not much in the way of textures. The terrain, there's not a lot going on. But right here, yeah, you see the user interface still on there. It shifts almost like QuickTime event. So I thought that was kind of neat seeing that, oh crap, while you're playing this game and you're getting hunted by these things, it'll shift perspective maybe? I mean, it showed it with the UI, so I'd imagine that is the case. But seeing this and seeing like, the detail of the terrain, there's not a lot that they show here. This game comes out in October, day before my birthday. I mean, happy birthday to me, right? I pre-ordered this already. I can't wait. But yeah, I mean, some of the details don't really seem like, extremely detailed as far as textures and backgrounds and terrain and whatnot. We just haven't seen much yet. But it leads me to believe this most likely was like a 3DS game at some point, because this game was first announced over 15 years ago, or not necessarily announced like, hey, it's coming out, but, talking about it. I don't believe it's been in development that long, but the idea had been out there for a long while now about Metroid Dread. I'm looking forward to it, but I do feel this was probably a 3DS game that they're adapting to the Switch. Yeah, I know the Switch is not the most powerful system in the world. You can't expect PS5 graphics and textures and whatnot, but I just saw like a lack of detail and whatnot, and it just brings me back to that Advance Wars thing. Why can't these companies, Nintendo, embrace the past, reinvigorate these games with some 2D sprite action? I think that would be awesome. Is it that the mass market appeal for stuff like that's not there? I would beg to differ. I think a lot of people do like that aesthetic, and I think this would have looked awesome with some spruced up 2D sprites. That would have been dope. But they're opting not to do that. Is it more difficult to do 2D sprites than it is to just do 3D rendered graphics and put it in a 2D gameplay? I don't know. I'm not a developer. But I just find that kind of interesting that they you know they go this way instead, and it looks fine. I'm still extremely excited for it. I know a lot of people are. I can't wait to play this damn game. I simply cannot wait. I know a lot of people are hyped for like the new Metroid Prime game, and you know, I've always been the 2D Metroid guy. I love those games, and I can't wait for this one as well. The 3D games, I tried, man. I tried, and it's been a long time, so I'm waiting for the trilogy to be, re-released on the Switch, and then Metroid Prime 4 to come out, and I will give it another shot. But I just feel like these are the types of games that I really enjoy. This was the style of Metroid that I really enjoy, and I can't wait for it. I'll give the Metroid Prime, series a shot at some point, or a reshot anyway. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this presentation that they had yesterday. I'm a little late to it as I was on vacation. But, it was stuff I was really thinking about with these four particular announcements that, yeah, kind of tickled it for me. But then there's a few little things here and there that kind of, bring that excitement down to realistic expectations of as far as what's actually going on here. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Appreciate you guys, big ass thumb butt. Let me know what you think. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom. Bye.